Want to know what happens when you practice yoga daily? Curious how your life will change when you practice yoga for an entire decade like me? In this video, I'm going to share how yoga has transformed my life, both on and off the mat, inside and out, outside and in, and why it can do the same for you too. If you haven't joined our yoga fam yet, click that subscribe button and bell to be notified every time I post a new video that helps you take yoga off the mat and into your daily life, which is truly the essence of why I show up and share the practice of yoga, because it absolutely transforms what happens off the mat. Now, not only have I practiced yoga for 365 days, but I've actually practiced for an entire decade. Like you, I am a yoga student, as well as a yoga teacher with over 500 teacher training hours. I am also a retreat leader and the founder of the Body, Mind, Soul studio that supports over 1,000 members. I started practicing yoga when I was 22, and for reference, I'm now 33. And it was after I purchased a Groupon, remember those, for an unlimited month of hot yoga at a local studio. I showed up so hungover, having just eaten a tuna sandwich, and parked my butt in the back corner, hoping not to throw up or pass out during those 90 minutes of what felt like torture. I made it till the end, sans vomit, and somehow, and for some reason, I dragged myself back to that studio again. At the time, I was newly graduated from college, in my first full-time position with benefits, paying off my student loan debt, partying every weekend to compensate for the lack of fulfillment I was feeling. And then I was feeling guilty about said partying, so I was in this circular experience that was negative. I was also treating my body so poorly and searching for fulfillment. Working 9 to 5 and living for the weekend wasn't what I had been sold or what I envisioned. And I was really lacking direction, purpose, and meaning. And even though I showed up to that first yoga class hungover, I recognized the potential that was there. And that's what brought me back to the mat over and over and over. Yoga asana, or the physical practice, became my religion during that time period of my life. Let me know in the comments, do you remember your very first yoga class? If so, tell me about it. I love reading how we each began our yoga journeys. Okay, so what's really happened? What's been the benefit or the results from practicing yoga daily for the past decade? Okay, yoga gave me the courage to quit my first full-time marketing gig and move to Italy with my girlfriends, leaving my then boyfriend, who's now my husband. And yes, once we arrived in Italy, we found a local yoga studio in Florence to keep the practice going. And that was really a pivotal moment that I sought out a yoga studio and joined so I could keep practicing. I came home from Italy at the age of 25, determined to gain my freedom from cubicle life, which led to the birth of the Journey Junkie, a travel and yoga blog at the time. This was pre-Pinterest, pre-Instagram, pre-TikTok, all the things, okay? So shortly after this, I said yes to a 10-month yoga teacher training program that was the springboard for the greater learning, healing, and future risk-taking. And as yoga became a really prominent component in my life, I became way less interested in drinking and doing drugs on the weekend, way less interested in gaining happiness through shopping or gossiping. I became way less interested in stepping on the scale to gauge my worth. And I also became way less interested in caring about what others thought of me. I generally became less self-absorbed, less insecure, less angry, which has been a lifelong challenge for me, and instead much more loving, compassionate, and confident. I also started really caring about the food I ate, the books I read, what I was listening to, and how I was spending my time. It suddenly dawned on me like, oh, my time really matters here in this very short span that I get to be here. Now, after graduating yoga teacher training and going through this total metamorphosis, I started teaching after work and on the weekends. And within a year, I brought my classes online to YouTube, which is how I'm here now, talking to you. So yoga has helped me build up the courage to start this YouTube channel, which at the time was terrifying. I also learned how to edit my videos, someone who's not quote unquote tech savvy, which was incredibly intimidating. It took me 6 months to bust out the camera equipment after I purchased it. From here, the yoga practice supported me in transforming what was once a hobby blog into a multiple six-figure business. It's still crazy for me to reflect back and realize that. I then launched my first yoga program that generated $70,000 in 3 weeks, which was more than my entire annual marketing salary. Bonkers, mind-blowing, right? Yoga has afforded me the opportunity to quit my job, become an entrepreneur, and sail the world with my husband for more than 2 years. We crossed the Pacific and made it all the way to New Zealand. Because of yoga, we had the means to quit everything, sell all of our belongings, and have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yoga again gave me the courage to start leading retreats, which at the time were terrifying. Would anyone show up or say yes? We've now led retreats multiple times in Costa Rica, Bali, and Mexico, where we've worked with and supported over 100 yoga students. And most recently, the practice has supported me in starting an online yoga studio, the Body, Mind, Soul Studio, that supports over 1,000 practitioners on and off their mats from all over the world, where we get to dive in and deepen our practices together as a yoga family. But I would say, if I gaze back and look at this past decade, the most important thing that yoga has helped me with is living an empowering, fulfilling, fun, and sustainable life. Every time I've stepped on my mat over the past decade, it's given me the space to process whatever current challenge I was facing and move through that challenge with more grace and ease, so I could continually take the risks that matter, pursue important goals and dreams, and live my journey, right? That's how this whole thing started, the Journey Junkie, because I was absolutely hell-bent on living my journey. Now, it's important to note that I haven't practiced asana or physical postures for the past decade, right? But I have in some way connected with yoga, whether that's been through breath work, meditation, continuing education, reading texts, or living the principles of yoga off the mat and in the world. You don't need to practice a pose for yoga to count. I really want you to understand that and drive that home. Yoga is a rich system that was never developed solely as an exercise, which is how we treat it here in the West. Rather, it was intended to support us body, mind, and soul, so we can return back and reclaim our inherent wholeness, or live our journey, as I like to say. Anything that helps you live with more presence, create change, do your best work with intention, and let go of expectations is a form of practicing yoga. I love that. Give yourself permission to adopt this mindset, this approach, and I promise you'll be practicing yoga for 365 days straight, eventually a decade, multiple decades, and you'll be sharing a similar story like I am right now about how yoga has helped you transform. Now, to adopt this approach and practice yoga both on and off your mat, download my Yoga Reset Guide, a 7-step journey through the chakra system to recenter your body, mind, and soul. The guide includes yoga asana classes, energy aligning exercises, chakra mantras and affirmations, and self-reflection journal prompts. It's an approachable way to begin working with the chakra system today, which is my favorite yoga psychology system to practice alongside. Details to download that Yoga Reset Guide are in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed this off the mat lesson, give this video a like. Share what your biggest takeaway was from today, from me sharing my story of being a yoga practitioner for a decade. And then join our yoga fam by hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for being here. And as always, now the real work begins, right? I say this after every yoga class that I publish here on YouTube and also in the studio. The real work is taking our yoga off the mat, off the cushion, off the screen, and into your daily life.